What up, though, y'allas? So episodes 9 and 10 were a little hectic. Got dope. We got to see more of the demon realm. Obviously, starting with episode 9, they're on their way to the second demon realm. That's how episode 8 ended. They're talking about camping out for the night before they start traveling again. Ponzi pleads that instead of camping outside, that they find a hotel. They're worried about people recognizing Goku and trying to steal the Dragon Ball, and just obviously they're wanted, so the army, military, all that stuff. The lore has spread about the kid with spiky hair and a red stick walking around beating up people, getting Dragon Balls, so they really don't want to. Then Ponzi just throws a hat on him and says, see, nobody will know. So they decide, okay, we'll go to a hotel. Once they get there, they're checking into the hotel or whatever, and Goku just takes his hat off. He says it's itchy. Obviously, people that are sitting in the lobby notice him. Once they get their room, they're just hanging out, just whatever. Then they hear a commotion in the lobby. They go out to check it out. And then once the guy who's causing the commotion notices them, he whistles, and then someone breaks into their room from the outside and steals the Dragon Ball. So Goku goes out the window to try to get these guys. Obviously doesn't know where they went. And then Ponzi says she put a tracker on it, gives him, well, they check out the tracker and they see that they're just like far above them. They didn't go too far. They just went up in the sky. Goku flies up there, fights with them for a little bit, gets the ball. Glorio pops up. The guy starts to try to run away and fight them and whatever the heck. Glorio uses his little lasso beam and just throws them out. So that was just a little something. We got to see Glorio in action again. It's always cool to see just Goku play with people, essentially. So after they get back to the hotel room, they were thinking about leaving, going to set up camp somewhere. Goku's like, no, you guys are good. Go ahead, go to sleep. I'll keep watch. He tries to stay up as long as he can, ends up falling asleep. Thankfully, nothing happens throughout the night. After that, it just kind of pans to Vegeta and the others, Vegeta and Hybis's crew. And they're walking out of wherever they were staying that night, and they realize their plane got robbed. Hybis quickly reminds Vegeta that the previous night Vegeta beat up people at the bar, so they're just thinking that they must have stolen the plane. And then it pans to Goma, and Goma finds out that the Z fighters are there and that Goku got a Dragon Ball. He tells Degasu he needs to figure this out and pretty much like do something about this. After that, they show Goku and that crew pulling up on Vegeta's crew. Vegeta's like, all right, take us with them, but their plane's too small, so they can't take them. Goku says like, all right, well, we'll meet up in the second demon world. They say that they'll contact King Kadan to get him a new plane. Obviously, Vegeta's mad. Then after that, the guys that Vegeta beat up, they pull up, try to jump him. Obviously, Vegeta beats him up, but it was funny because Hybis was like, I'm just a guy and I'm about to go over here and eat some chips. So he's just eating chips while Vegeta's beating up all these dudes. And then Vegeta's like, where's our plane? And then they tell him where the plane's at. They didn't destroy it or anything, so they got their plane back. And then the episode ends with Majin Ku being born. So right after this new Majin is born, Arinsu tells him, like, all right, you got to go fight a Tamagotchi. So off top gives him one of the hardest fighting challenges to test his strength. One thing about this, though, so the wizard lady who made Boo and who made Ku, she was pulling from a jar of Cyberman seeds, and she's like, I only have 2 left, so uses 1. So right when I saw that, I was under the impression like, I feel like Majin, this one is gonna be a bust, and they're gonna have to use that last seed. So that was kind of my impression going into episode 10. Like, I don't think this is really gonna be who like they think it is. The guy looks whack. He just looks like a big Cyberman. Um, Once I seen him, that kind of told me too, like, this guy doesn't look scary. This guy doesn't look intimidating. They do have another seed, so I was just under the impression that this guy is just going to be a bust. I didn't know anything about anything. That was just what I gathered from watching that. So episode 10 starts with Ku challenging Tamagami number one in the first demon realm. They're going back and forth for a little bit, then it pans over to Goku and that crew, and they're at Warp Sama. Once they get through with the army plane, they were thinking about just going directly to Demon World number one, since they have the the army's plane. They'd be able to get through, but I guess they have to get the Dragon Balls in order, so they decide on just going to Demon Realm or Demon World 2, and that's where Supreme Kai and Piccolo are from, the Glens and the Namex. That's their home world where they fled from. Then pans to Hybis and crew. It's funny because Hybis tries to like bag Bulma. He's like, "Oh, your face is smooth. Like, you could be my girlfriend." And then obviously Vegeta's like, "We're already married." Hybis says he doesn't care, and then Vegeta, Bulma was like, "Oh, I want to stay like this forever," because she likes how young she looks. Her skin's all good. Vegeta's like, "No, we're gonna get turned back." Blah blah blah. She's like, "You can't." He's like, "No, we are." And then Hybris is like, "Oh, you like big boobs, I guess, huh?" And then it Vegeta just blows up on him, and Piccolo's like, "Oh, I guess he was right," and it kind of just cuts away. It goes back to Ku. They're fighting. Ku does this weird little dance that leads up to this big beam that he shoots from his mouth. Cuts away again. It goes back to Goku. They're flying through the second demon realm. It shows Goma's looking at them, and next thing you know, they're being attacked by army planes. Goku ends up hopping out of their plane, destroys all the other ones that were attacking them. Um, and then as they're kind of like riding away, I guess in the second demon realm they have these things called krakens that are in the ocean. They're huge, and if you're flying too low close to the water, they pop out and they'll just eat the whole plane. So obviously this happens. Kraken comes out, gets a hold of the plane. Luckily, all four of them are able to escape, but then Pansy shoots back into the plane as the Kraken's bringing it down. Goku eventually helps her out, and by this time they're already in the Kraken's mouth. So Glorio and Shin think like, "Oh snap, they got him," but they eventually fly out. As they're reconnected in the sky, just flying, hovering, they realize like, "Oh snap, the Dragon Ball." But then Pansy's like, "Oh no, that's why I went to the plane," and she actually was able to save it before it was eaten by the Kraken. So that was cool. Um, since they don't have a plane, they're just flying or whatever, and then they notice, or Shin points out like, "Hey, let's go wait on the planet where the Namecs are from, and we'll wait for Vegeta and them to meet with us here." So they go to the original planet Namek. Um, excuse me. After a little bit, Goku senses that Vegeta and crew are close, so he goes off, flies to them to corral them in and warn them about the Kraken. Once he sees them, he's like outside miming, trying to tell them about the Kraken, gets inside the plane, tells them. Vegeta tries to make fun of him for being scared of a monster, and as that happens, the Kraken pops up, and obviously they're able to avoid it. So they pull up. Oh, well, I guess before this. Um, it shows before the little part where Goku flies off to corral Vegeta and them. It shows Ku and the Tamagami fighting again. It's like getting intense. Um, it obviously showed that the beam didn't work, so you're kind of saying like, is Ku actually really strong? Is the Tama, is he gonna pull out another special move? The Tamagami doesn't really seem like he's doing too much, so it's kind of like, Then Goku meets up with Vegeta. They do all that stuff, avoid the Kraken, like I just said. Then it goes back to Ku again. Ku forfeits, and as they're flying, he's flying away with a Rinsu. Arinsu's like, I'm disappointed in you, blah, 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 this and that. He's like, oh, well, I can sing and I can help you with shopping. So my original thoughts of this being were correct. This dude's trash. He's not good for anything. So I'm excited to see the actual being they bring to life because Ku is not it. Um, After that little exchange, it goes back to them on the original planet Namek, and then um, Bulma asks like the story of the Glens and why they left and all this other stuff, and then Shin actually breaks it down instead of me kind of going word for word. I'm gonna just play it right now, and because it's a lot to take in. So here's Shin, or should I say Narahe? Is that his real name? I forgot, but yeah, here. All right, yeah. So that's super cool. That the demon world is responsible for creating every other world outside of it. So the demon realm, I guess, is the OG, just universe in general. It's crazy that who would have thought that, and I like this breakdown. This makes it one of my favorite episodes just because it gives a crazy backstory to Dragon Ball. I like how they're able to use Daima to kind of rebuild and restructure and explain the Dragon Ball universe as a whole. A huge plus in my eyes. Um, and then so after that, they get ready to head off to the Tamagami in the second demon realm. And as they're loading the plane and about to take off, a Namekian is walking towards the plane and it appears to be Neba, that old Namekian from the demon realm. It looks like him. I don't know. I know a lot of old Namekians look the same, but I'm pretty sure it's him. And he's laughing and smiling. So episode 11 is going to be interesting to say the least. Obviously, Arinsu's going to have to make a new Majin with that last Cyber Beam. We're going to see what Neba or whoever this Namekian has to say and go from there. But yeah, if you like these breakdowns, if you like these reviews, share with your friends. Should have one of the homies on to go over some stuff, give you guys some back and forth. We'll see. Be sure to subscribe, like the video. And until next time, y'all, Dragon Ball Love. Peace.